Look, I'm not saying I'm bad at my job. I'm just saying that when the museum hired me as a genetics intern, they probably should have asked more questions than, "Can you start Monday?" Because here I am, 3 weeks in, standing in front of what I thought was the coffee machine, pressing buttons like I'm defusing a bomb. The genetics lab looks like someone's Pinterest board for futuristic workspace, all lavender walls with brushed silver panels, holographic displays floating in the air showing double helixes in amber and teal, and this massive cylindrical scanner in the corner that's currently humming like it's judging me. The scanner's made of sapphire-tinted glass with copper trim, rotating lights, casting blue shadows across the pewter examination table. There's even a living moss wall, because apparently extinct predator research requires ambience. I'm wearing my favorite coral silk blouse with the ruffled collar, cream trousers that actually fit for once, and rose gold jewelry that makes me feel like I have my life together. Spoiler, I do not have my life together. That's not the beverage dispenser, comes a musical sound from behind me, except it's not really a voice. It's more like someone's playing a cello through a subwoofer, vibrating through my chest. I turn around to find Vexnari, the head geneticist, standing in the doorway. He's 7.5 feet of violet chitinous nightmare fuel, with 6 compound eyes arranged in 2 vertical rows that are all currently fixed on me with what I can only describe as horrified fascination. His body is segmented like an insect's, covered in smooth iridescent plates that shift colors when he moves. The really unsettling part is the bioluminescent teal veins running through his semi-translucent sections, pulsing faster as he watches me. 2 antennae sprout from his crown, twitching with what I'm learning to recognize as alien exasperation. His segmented tail, tipped with a glowing bioluminescent bulb, lashes once behind him. "Oh," I say, looking back at the machine I've been molesting for the past 5 minutes. "Then what is it?" The musical resonance from his chest rises in pitch, definitely the alien equivalent of a sigh. "That is the DNA resurrection scanner. It costs more than this entire wing of the museum. You've been pressing the activation sequence." Huh. I look at the big red button I was about to press. "What does this one do?" "Please step away from the equipment." His bioluminescent veins are now strobing like a nightclub, slowly. I take a step back, and my elbow catches the edge of a floating holographic display. It spins, projecting a cascade of genetic sequences across the wall like the world's worst screensaver. Vexnari's antennae flatten against his head. I reach to steady the hologram and accidentally swipe through 3 menus. Something beeps. The sapphire scanner's lights start rotating faster, casting spinning shadows across the specimen cabinets lining the walls, their violet glowing vials tinkling against each other. "Stop touching things." The musical tone is now firmly in the panic range. "I'm not touching anything." I pull my hand back and bump into the examination table, which apparently has touch sensors because it lights up and starts recalibrating with a series of mechanical whirs. The lab door slides open with a soft hiss, and Silara glides in. She's the medical officer, and she's genuinely kind in a way that makes me feel worse about constantly screwing up. She's only about 5 feet tall, with one massive eye taking up most of her face, an iris that's currently shifting from silver to concerned purple. Her body is this wild, gelatinous gray that's semi-transparent, so I can see swirling colors moving inside her like a lava lamp. Blues, purples, silvers, all rippling as she moves. Tendrils float around her head like she's underwater, and right now they're moving in slow, worried patterns. "What's happening?" Her voice is soft, almost whispery, as her body ripples faster. "Amelia found the resurrection scanner." Vexnari's chest resonates, his tail now swishing in agitated patterns. "I thought it was the coffee machine." I protest, and I hear how stupid that sounds even as I say it. My cheeks flush hot. Silara's eye shifts to a warm amber. She's trying to be kind about this. "The coffee machine is in the break room. This device can reconstruct extinct species from genetic fragments." "Well, they should label things better," I mutter, but the excuse feels hollow. Everything here is labeled. I just don't read things before I touch them. That's when the scanner makes a sound like a photocopier having an existential crisis. All three of us turn to look at it. The sapphire cylinder is now glowing so bright, it's casting everything in blue light, the copper trim starting to hum with energy. Holographic displays are materializing around it, filling with data streams that mean absolutely nothing to me, but are apparently very important based on how Vexnari's entire body is now dimming to a dark purple, his species' version of going pale. "What did you touch?" he asks, his musical voice dropping to a low drone. "Just buttons, random buttons." My voice sounds smaller than I want it to. "I didn't think." "That's the problem," he says quietly, and it stings more than yelling would have. The scanner beeps 3 times. A holographic display materializes right in front of me, floating at eye level, showing what looks like a DNA helix being cross-referenced with dozens of other DNA helixes. Maybe hundreds. "Oh no," Vexnari says, which is never what you want to hear from the head geneticist. His bioluminescent veins are now flashing in patterns I haven't seen before. What's oh no? I lean forward to read the display, which activates a proximity sensor, and the whole thing expands, filling half the lab with rotating genetic data. Silara glides closer, her single eye widening as she reads the holographic text. Her tendrils start floating more erratically. "This is Vexnari. Is this her DNA?" The scanner must have picked up her genetic material when she touched it. His antennae are now fully drooped. It's running a comparative analysis against the extinct predator database. A cold feeling settles in my stomach. Why would my DNA be in a predator database? The display chimes a pleasant little sound that feels deeply inappropriate given the tension in the room. New text materializes in the hologram, rotating slowly in glowing amber letters. Genetic markers identified. 12 matches. Extinct apex predator DNA detected. Below that, a list starts populating. I recognize maybe 3 of the names. 12? Silara's voice is barely audible. Her body has gone almost completely opaque now, her stress response. That's not possible. Humans shouldn't have any markers for. Megalodon. I read off the list, my voice shaking slightly. Smilodon, terrorbird, Basilosaurus. The names keep going. Short-faced bear, giant otter. Things I've never heard of, things that sound made up but clearly aren't, based on how Silara's tendrils have stopped moving entirely. Anomalocaris, Vexnari says quietly, reading over my shoulder. Earth's first apex predator. Before fish even existed, it was the deadliest thing in the ocean. I keep scrolling through the list, and my hands are trembling now. This last one just says, unknown, genetic structure unidentified. The lab falls silent except for the humming of equipment. I can feel both of them staring at me. "I don't understand," I whisper. "How is this in my DNA? I'm just me. I'm nobody." "Clearly not," Vexnari says, but his tone has shifted from exasperated to something else, something that might be fascination or might be fear. The scanner chimes again. A new holographic window opens, this one with a cheerful interface that looks like it was designed by someone who really loved rounded corners and friendly fonts. "Analysis complete," it announces. "Genetic resurrection profile created." Below that, a question materializes. "Which apex predator would you like to wake up?" And below that, 12 glowing buttons, each one labeled with a different extinct predator from the list. "That's a really bad menu," I say, my voice cracking slightly. "Don't touch it." Vexnari lunges forward, but his tail catches on the examination table. "I'm not," I start to say, stepping back, but my hand swings out for balance and goes right through the holographic button labeled Known Genetic Structure Unidentified. For a second, nothing happens. Then the scanner makes a sound like reality hiccuping. "No," Silara whispers, her entire body going completely transparent for a split second. "No, no, no." What did I just do? I'm backing away from the scanner now, my heart hammering. What did I just? The scanner starts making a deep, resonant thrumming that I can feel in my bones. The sapphire cylinder glows so bright, I have to squint. Every holographic display in the lab flickers and then syncs up, all showing the same message in pulsing red letters. Genetic sequence activated. Dormant DNA awakening. Estimated time to expression, 30 seconds. Fix it, I say, and I don't recognize my own voice. It's high and tight with panic. Please, fix it. I don't want this. I don't know how. Vexnari's chest produces sounds I've never heard before, discordant and sharp. The resurrection technology is designed for extinct specimens in controlled environments, not living subjects. There's no abort function because there was never supposed to be a living subject. Cialara is already pulling up holographic screens, her tendrils moving frantically through the data. We need to get her to the medical bay. If we can monitor the changes as they happen. 20 seconds, Vexnari reads from the display. What's going to happen to me? I ask, and my voice breaks on the last word. Am I going to die? We don't know, Cialara says, and the honesty is somehow worse than a lie would be. The scanner hits 0 seconds, and something in my chest goes pop, not painfully, more like someone just opened a bottle of champagne inside my ribcage. A warm sensation spreads through my body, starting at my sternum and radiating outward. It feels good, actually, feels right. Feels like something clicking into place that was always supposed to be there. And that terrifies me more than pain would have. Oh God, I whisper, looking down at my hands. They look normal, for now. Oh God, this is really happening. The medical bay, Vexnari says urgently, already moving toward the door. Now, before I stop being human, I finish for him, and the words taste like ash in my mouth. Neither of them answers, which is answer enough. We rush through the museum hallways, warm ochre walls lined with dark walnut fossil cases, my ankle boots clicking on the polished cream marble with its sage green inlay. The honey-colored motion lights follow us like we're being tracked. I catch my reflection in the glass of a display case and stop dead. My eyes, I say. They're still brown, still mine, but something about them is different, sharper, more focused, like I'm seeing in higher definition than I was 5 minutes ago. Come on, Cialara urges gently, her tendrils touching my arm, a gesture of comfort that makes my throat tight. The medical bay is all mint green walls and chrome equipment, holographic diagnostic screens glowing in cyan. Cialara guides me to one of the pearl-white examination pods, and I sit, clutching the edge so hard my knuckles go white. I need you to stay calm, she says softly, running a scanner over me. Your heart rate is extremely elevated. I'm about to turn into a monster, I snap, then immediately feel guilty. I'm sorry, I'm just terrified, she finishes. I know, but fear will make the transformation faster. Your body is in fight or flight mode, which means increased adrenaline, which means the predator genes activate faster, Vexnari says, his bioluminescent veins pulsing in rapid anxious patterns. You need to breathe, slow and steady. I try, I really do. But my hands are shaking and my breath keeps hitching, and all I can think is that I'm about to lose myself, to become something else. Something that hunts. That's when my teeth start hurting. Oh no, I gasp, raising a hand to my mouth. Oh no, it's starting. The door hisses open and Abigail walks in, tablet in hand, looking immaculate in her navy blazer and charcoal pants. She takes one look at me, and her expression shifts from professional irritation to something that might actually be concern. What happened? She asks, already moving towards Cialara's diagnostic screens. Amelia activated the resurrection scanner. Vexnari explains. She has genetic markers from 12 extinct apex predators. She accidentally triggered the awakening sequence for an unknown genetic structure. Abigail's face goes pale. She what? My teeth hurt, I say, and I can hear the edge of hysteria in my voice. They're changing. I can feel them changing. Cialara runs the scanner over my jaw, her eye shifting to a dark purple. Canine elongation, approximately 3 centimeters beyond baseline human, still growing. I run my tongue over my teeth and feel the sharp points that definitely weren't there 10 minutes ago. Fangs. I have fangs now, like an animal, like a predator. Can you reverse it? Abigail asks, her fingers flying across her tablet. I'm trying to access the scanner's protocols. Vexnari resonates, but his musical tones are strained. But this has never happened before. There's no precedent, no procedure. My spine makes a sound like cracking knuckles and I gasp, arching forward. It doesn't hurt exactly, but I can feel my vertebrae shifting, rearranging, optimizing for something my human body was never designed for. What's happening to my spine? I ask, and I hate how small my voice sounds. Structural modification, Silara whispers. Your skeletal system is adapting, becoming more flexible, more powerful. I look down at my hands and watch, as the bones in my fingers visibly shift under my skin. They elongate slightly, joints becoming more pronounced, and my neatly manicured nails sharpen into points, into claws. No, I whisper. No, 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 I'm shaking my hands like I can shake the changes off, like this is something I can just refuse. Make it stop, please make it stop. We're trying. Vexnari's entire body has dimmed to the darkest purple I've ever seen. His antennae are pressed flat against his head. Abigail moves closer, and I see her swallow hard before speaking. Amelia, look at me. I do, and I can see my reflection in her eyes. My pupils have dilated, almost consuming the brown of my iris, almost feral. You're still you, she says firmly. Whatever is happening to your body, you're still you. Hold on to that. But am I? How much of me is in my body? How much is in these hands that are becoming claws? These teeth that are becoming fangs? If you change everything physical about a person, is the mind enough to keep them human? My hearing suddenly sharpens, and I gasp at the sensory overload. I can hear everything, the hum of every piece of equipment, Silara's internal fluids moving through her gelatinous body, Vexnari's bioluminescent organs pulsing, Abigail's elevated heartbeat, footsteps 3 floors away, voices in distant hallways, the drip of water somewhere in the east wing. Too much, I gasp, pressing my new clawed hands to my ears. It's too much. Auditory enhancement, Silara says, her voice somehow both near and far. Basilosaurus traits, enhanced hearing for hunting. I don't want to hunt. I'm crying now, hot tears running down my face. I don't want any of this. The door opens again, and Thraxon enters 7 feet of forest green scales and bronze armor plates. His 8 eyes all focus on me at once, and his thick tail with its spiked club end drags across the floor. Steam curls from his nostrils as he exhales. Is she dangerous? He asks bluntly, and I flinch at the word. Not yet, Vexnari says quietly. Not yet, I repeat hollowly. So eventually I will be. We don't know that, Silara tries, but her body has gone nearly opaque with stress. Yes, you do. I lower my hands from my ears. The sensory overload is manageable now. My brain is adapting, processing the input more efficiently. Which means it's permanent. Which means this is who I am now. You all moved away from me. Even Thraxon is staying by the door. You know what I'm becoming. Abigail opens her mouth to argue, then closes it. The silence is damning. I look down at my hands again, these wrong, alien hands with their 2 long fingers and curved claws. I flex them experimentally and feel muscles I've never had before, moving in ways that should be impossible, powerful, dangerous. I had plans, I say quietly, and I'm not even sure who I'm talking to anymore, maybe myself. I was going to get my certification, maybe move to a better apartment, learn to make sourdough, normal things. I laugh, and it sounds brittle. I was finally starting to figure out who I was, and now you're becoming something else, Vexnari finishes gently. Yeah. I wipe my face with the back of my hand and feel the sharp points of my claws against my skin. One wrong move and I could cut myself, could cut someone else. Something I never asked to be. My jaw pops again, and I feel my fangs extend another half-centimeter. I catch my reflection in the chrome medical equipment, amber eyes with vertical pupils staring back at me. A stranger's eyes, a predator's eyes. I can see in the dark now, can't I? I ask. Probably, Silara confirms softly, and I'm analyzing all of you, right now, without meaning to. I look at each of them in turn. Abigail favors her left leg. Silara's core is vulnerable. Thraxon's joints aren't protected by his armor plates. Vexnari's antennae are sensitive. I press my clawed hands to my face. I don't want to know these things. I don't want to be thinking about vulnerabilities and attack patterns. That's not who I am. That's not who you were, Thraxon says, and his bluntness is almost refreshing, but it might be who you're becoming. Helpful, Abigail snaps at him. It's honest, I say tiredly. My body is changing faster now, I can feel it. Muscles thickening, bones restructuring, neural pathways rewiring to accommodate instincts I never had. How long until I'm not me anymore? Until there's nothing left of Amelia and I'm just some amalgamation of extinct predators? We won't let that happen, Vexnari says, but his veins are flashing in patterns that suggest he's not sure he believes it. You can't stop it, I say flatly. You already said there's no abort function. The lights flicker once, twice, then the entire medical bay plunges into darkness. And I can see perfectly. Everyone else is suddenly blind, gasping and reaching for walls, but I can see them all as clearly as if it were noon. Thermal vision, my new predator brain supplies helpfully. Heat signatures painted in shades of orange and red against the cool blue of the equipment. Abigail's elevated pulse point, Silara's warm core. Thraxon's bronze plates glowing with residual heat. I could hunt in complete darkness and never miss. The thought should horrify me, and it does, but there's another part of me, a growing part that finds it fascinating. Useful, right, and that's when I truly understand what I'm losing. It's not just my body, it's my mind, my perspective, my humanity. The power grid. Vexnari says in the darkness, his bioluminescent veins providing the only light besides Silara's internal glow. The resurrection sequence is pulling too much energy. Amelia, Abigail calls out. Where are you? I'm standing right in front of her, close enough to touch, but she can't see me. I could be anywhere. I could be anyone, anything. Here, I say, and my voice sounds different, lower, more resonant, with an edge that wasn't there before. Emergency lights kick in, bathing everything in dim red. Everyone turns to look at me. I see my reflection in one of the chrome panels, really see myself for the first time since the transformation began. My eyes are glowing gold, with vertical pupils that contract in the light. My face is sharper, more angular, bones restructured into something more efficient. My hands are tipped with curved claws. My teeth, visible when I speak, are definitely fangs now. My posture has changed without me realizing it. I'm in a slight crouch, weight balanced, ready to move in any direction. I look dangerous. I look like a predator. I look like I could kill someone without trying very hard. I don't recognize myself, I whisper, and this time when my voice cracks, it's not just fear, it's grief, mourning for the person I was 3 hours ago. The clumsy, incompetent intern who couldn't work a coffee machine but at least knew who she was. We'll figure this out, Abigail says, but she's maintaining her distance. They all are. Will we? I ask. I flex my new hands and watch the muscles cord beneath my skin. Or will you just lock me up somewhere until I'm too dangerous to keep around? We would never see Alara starts. You're already treating me like a threat, I interrupt. And you should, because I can feel it, you know. The predator thoughts. They're not like intrusive thoughts you can dismiss. They're becoming my thoughts, my default way of processing the world. I look at Thraxon. You're armed. Stun baton on your left hip. You're standing between me and the door. You're ready to contain me if I attack. His scales rattle an admission of truth. See? I say quietly. I'm already becoming something that needs to be contained. Vexnari's antennae droop completely. The genetic sequence is still cycling. You're not done changing. What else is there? I ask, but I'm not sure I want to know. All 12 predators, he says. The sequence is randomly activating different traits until it stabilizes. How long? Unknown. I close my glowing eyes, and even through my eyelids, I can sense the heat signatures in the room, sense the movement of air, sense the electrical equipment powering back on. My predator senses don't have an off switch. I just wanted coffee, I say, and I almost laugh at the absurdity of it. That's all, just coffee. I know, Silara says gently, and I can hear the grief in her voice. She's mourning me too, mourning who I was. Because even if we find a way to reverse this, I'll never be that person again. You can't unknow what it feels like to be apex, to be powerful, to be dangerous. I open my eyes and look at my reflection again in the chrome, at this stranger wearing my face. My name is Amelia, I say, like an affirmation, like a prayer. I'm 24. I like terrible reality TV and overpriced lattes and plants I always forget to water. I'm chronically late and I can't parallel park, and I cry during commercials. Yes, Abigail says firmly. Yes, that's who you are. But for how much longer? I ask. And none of them have an answer. The scanner's display flickers to life on Silara's diagnostic screen, showing a new message. Resurrection sequence, 35% complete. Next trait activation. 180 seconds. I watch the countdown and feel something in my chest, something that isn't fear or grief, something that feels almost like anticipation. And that's when I know, I'm not just losing my body to these predators. I'm starting to lose my mind to them too. 3 minutes, I say quietly. 3 minutes until I change again. What do you want to do? Vexnari asks. I look at my clawed hands, my reflection with its glowing eyes, the distance everyone is maintaining. I want, I say slowly, to remember who I was, before I forget completely. Silara's eye shifts to a color I haven't seen before, a deep, sorrowful indigo. You won't forget. I won't let you. Promise. My voice is so small. Promise. The countdown reaches 60 seconds. I straighten up and realize I'm taller now, just an inch or two, but enough to notice. My spine has lengthened. My proportions are changing. I'm being rebuilt into something optimal, something perfect, something not human. 30 seconds. Whatever happens, I say, looking at each of them. If I become dangerous, if I become something that might hurt people. Don't, Abigail cuts me off. Don't say it. Someone has to, I insist. If I lose myself completely, if there's nothing left of me, I swallow hard. Don't let me hurt anyone. Promise me. Thraxon nods slowly. Vexnari's veins pulse once in acknowledgement. Silara's tendrils droop. Abigail just looks at me, and I see tears in her eyes. It won't come to that, but if it does, it won't. 10 seconds. My heart is racing. My new claws are digging into my palms. Every enhanced sense is screaming at me to run, to hide, to hunt. 5 seconds. I'm scared, I whisper. I know, Silara says. 0. The transformation hits like lightning. My entire body seizes, muscles tearing and reforming, bones cracking and reshaping, neural pathways exploding with new connections. I'm on my knees before I realize I've fallen, gasping for air that suddenly tastes different, richer, filled with information my old self could never process. And through the pain, through the terror, through the fundamental rewriting of everything I am, I hold on to one thought. My name is Amelia. My name is Amelia. My name is Amelia. It's all I have left.